What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of the LOFI Dynasty show here. We're going to be doing some Reddit questions again. I don't know if you guys watched the show last week, but I'm trying just to do something a little different where we're going to have some chill music. We're going to talk some fantasy. But we're trying to give you something maybe to relax a little bit more for, a lot of stuff. They come at you with a really hardcore intro and try to hit you in the face while you're driving and stuff. And this is more just kind of for those other times in the day where you're looking to chill out a little bit more, but still want to hear about some fantasy football stuff and maybe just some more fun questions, a little more relaxed. So hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please hit the subscribe button, like the video. Let me know if you want me to keep making these. I'm going to try them out a little bit, see how they go. So first question for the day here. Manager received a pick for brokering a trade. One manager orchestrated a trade for two other teams. He was given a 4th-round rookie pick by one of the managers for doing so. Is this considered cheating or be allowed? So first, I loved this question. I read this immediately and I basically just laughed because I thought it was so funny. It's a 4th-round pick, and I guess I like the idea that this guy somehow involved himself into this trade. For me as a commish, I think this is funny enough, and it's a 4th-round pick that I would probably just let it slide. I mean, the dude was okay giving him the pick. It's not like he forced his hand or anything, or there wasn't any really cheating involved. Now, with other things in your league, no, I don't think you should be able to trade picks for money or picks for gifts or favors or whatever. But I think this is pretty different because he basically just convinced this dude that this trade was good enough for him that it was worth a 4th-round pick. So hats off to this guy, man. I'm down for this. If you can somehow pull this off, let me know. Shoot me a screenshot. I'd love to see it. Number 2, I wish I had LaPorta so I could trade him. That is an interesting idea. Now, first off, I think there's a little sarcasm there, or maybe just a LaPorta hater. I do have LaPorta as my Dynasty tight end 1, as basically everyone does. That's not a crazy idea at the moment. But I do think there is some actual logic behind this. And what I mean by that is if you're trying to trade a player, you should trade them at their highest peak value. And there is no higher peak than Dynasty tight end 1. So if you are looking to get a good return for a player, you really could get something pretty monster for LaPorta. Now, with that being said, I don't think he's peaking as high as he could. And I don't think he's peaked as high as some other Dynasty tight end 1s have at times, Travis Kelce, etc. I think I was reading some the other day where LaPorta is still a round 3 startup pick where, Kelce was going easily round 2, maybe round 1 in some leagues at one point in his career, I bet. So it's an interesting idea. I mean, I'm not saying to go trade LaPorta, but I do think there is a time. I remember a couple years back, I was all aboard the Cam Akers train because he was all aboard the trade Cam Akers train because he was RB 5-6 ranked, and you're just dude, this dude is only going down from there. I think that is a legitimate side of the debate where it's if you have someone who's peaking in value, that is a good time to trade them if you really think about it. So number 3, at what point is a trade so bad that it needs to be vetoed? No collusion involved. For me, simple answer here, I would never veto a trade if it's not cheating. I think when it comes down to it, you need to let people manage their teams. They're paying, they're grown-ups. I've seen some trades that happen and then they look a lot different later down the line, and you kind of just need to let owners manage their teams and not have trade FOMO about what other people are doing. I think you need to just worry about your own team, manage your own team, and don't get too caught up in the other trades that are going down. If you see a lot of trades going down and you want to be a part of them, start hitting people up and try to do some trade talks and stuff, man. Don't get left out because you're complaining. Go involve yourself, right? You get a lot more trades done if you are the person hitting people up about doing trades. Number 4 here, Trey Lance versus Hendon Hooker. Which QB realistically has the best chance to take over the starting job when either Goff or Dak are done? So for me here, a simple, just give up, man. Neither one of these players is someone you want on your team. And if you can get any sort of value for a guy that's basically just a backup quarterback, you just take it. I mean, Goff looks great. Dak looks great. They're not going anywhere. They're not taking over. Whoever does take over for Goff and Dak is probably not even on the team. They're a future rookie. They're a future free agent. It is not one of these backups on the team. And I think that applies to a lot of people, a lot of positions in fantasy, right? Like some of these guys that just become dead weight, you need to learn just to cut, sell them for a third, sell them for a fourth, free up that roster spot and stop holding on. Now, there's certain cases where, if someone's hurt, I'm not going to count them in that camp. Like the Nick Chubbs, etc. You buy guys that are hurt, I'm okay with that because I think their value goes up. But people who have just underwhelmed and they're probably just going to keep going down in value, I don't think you need to tie yourself to these players in Dynasty. And I really think it just sets you up to fail and just really not succeed when it comes down to it. So Trey Lance, Hendon Hooker, the answer to that is neither. Sell them for what you can get. Trade them for another quarterback you like. Trade him for Jake Browning, man. Jake Browning has a better chance of being a starting quarterback than Hendon Hooker and Trey Lance, and I fully believe that. Last one, anybody ever play in a 2-kicker league? I have not, but that sounds freaking awesome, to be honest. I am all about banning kickers, but at this point, if you're not going to ban them, how about 2 kickers, right? Just for fun. I think that'd be fun. And I do think you'd probably start to see a little more value in a dynasty league for the Justin Tuckers and the Butkers and Brandon Aubrey and stuff. And I would love to see kind of the waiver wire and the strategy of how many kickers everyone is holding, which I think that would become what happens, right? So like with super flex quarterbacks, like people start holding multiple quarterbacks. So in a kicking league, if you can start 2, a lot of teams are probably going to want to have 3 for bye weeks and stuff. And I'd be curious how that works. Like what happens on bye weeks if there's not enough kickers? Are you only allowed to hold 2? I wouldn't hate that idea for that kind of league. You're only allowed to hold 2, and then you have to cycle through the ones on the waiver wire when you have bye weeks. That probably makes the most sense other than managers having to take zeros. But if you are taking zeros, then there would be a legitimate advantage to hoarding quote unquote kickers on your roster. So I think that's a funny idea. I know I read about a league one time that they gave you negative 50 points if your kicker missed an extra point, and you got like 50 points for 50-yard field goals or something. So like games would just completely swing on only the kickers doing on the field, which I would never do that in a high stakes league or for something stupid and silly like a beer league where everyone puts a 6-pack up or you got to buy the winner his rounds for the night or something. I do think that sounds funny, and I do think that would be enjoyable. So I'm trying to keep these pretty short. I think in general, this kind of format where I'm taking it down a notch, I would like to have a little longer, but YouTube's still trying to grow the channel, so they're short for now. But if this is something you like, let me know, and I'm happy to keep making them. I'm going to try them out, on Fridays. I think it's fun. Give you guys something for the weekend. But anything you want to know, ask any questions down in the comments for next week. If you want me to try something out, let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know your opinion on some of those topics. I am curious what everyone else thinks. But other than that, I appreciate it, guys. And I hope you have a good